Alright guys, so I'm going to walk you through, we had footage, unfortunately I accidentally deleted it, but we're going to walk you through how I got my deer and kind of the path that I took. So I glassed him up from on that little ridge right there, and there was only about an hour till dark, so I went back to the car, put my sneaks on real quick, maybe an hour and a half, and I came across all this flat that you're looking at really quick, like a quick walk. But the whole time I was looking, because where I saw the buck was right there, and then he went out of sight by the time I was on the move. So I'm looking just in case I see him up there, but I figured he had kind of gone up because that's the direction they were heading. So then look at this steep stuff. My plan was to hit this ravine and go straight up into him. The wind was perfect, very high wind in my face. So I had to first of all get to this and figure out in my water shoes how to get down this. And luckily I kind of worked my way across this side and dropped down over there into the bottom. So let's keep it going. All right guys, so I came down right here. Go ahead and show them, like, it's very steep. It might be hard to tell on camera, but it's super steep. And then I crossed this little fence right here. And again, when I'm on a stalk, all I have with me is spandex pants, water shoes, a tucked in shirt, rangefinder, bow. That's it. I have nothing with me, and winding dust. So I have those things. I'm very sleepy. I just slid right under this fence, and I'll even show you. Here's what I did. Just kind of did this guy, and then I got up, and I knew that wherever these deer were, they couldn't see me. So I grabbed my bow, and I literally just full sprint up this wash. So I'm running full speed up this wash for probably half mile, maybe even a mile before I shut it down. Probably about a 6-minute mile pace, so it's really booking it, baby. Full Rambo mode. Let's keep it going. So I stopped running right about here when I came around this bend, and all I knew was the bucks were near 2 junipers, and there's 2 junipers. My instinct told me it was further up, but I would have hated to keep going fast thinking they were up further and spook them, or just run right past them and then have them wind me. So here's where I really slowed down for a while, and I started creeping. And what I was doing is, as you could see, it's steep on both sides, but what I was doing was, you know, the whole time I'm walking, because this is pretty easy stalking as long as you don't bump a rock, I'm looking left, I'm looking right, left, right, just making sure I don't see a deer anywhere, and then I can reassess a plan. So
all right, El Chapo.
all right, so as you can see, there's a 90-degree turn right behind you there, and again, it's a very steep wash. So I'm making a good pace, you know, a decent pace, and I get to right here. If you come where I'm at, and let me see this go. I caught a little glimpse of a deer's tail right up there by that juniper. So now I knew it was game time, because I knew where he was. They didn't know I was here. I knew I had good coverage all the way over there. My only question was, how high up the bank were they? Could I shoot from in the wash, or was I gonna have to get out? And obviously if I have to get out, you can see how steep these walls are.
Oh yeah.
So let's keep it moving. All right guys, so I got to this point, and I knew the deer were right up here, not very far, but I had to get up this steep bank, and I knew if I could get to where that cactus is, I'd have a little shooting range. So let's follow me up here. I'm going up this and trying not to slip. So I creep up from behind this cactus and behind this bush, and I can see the deer standing there broadside feeding. Didn't know I was there. So I range him like this, and it was 44 yards. And then I look through the bush and standing right behind the buck. So here's the one I ranged. Right behind him was another buck, and he's looking right at me. Then, you know, I realized that the one in the back was the buck I wanted, but I had to step forward. So I drew the bow, or as I was about to draw, the other buck looks at me, real alert like this, and I knew it was kind of now or never. So I draw back. Weirdly enough, the other buck went back to feeding, which was odd. I draw back. Buck's still looking at me. 44 yards, let the arrow fly. Smack the buck. Knew the shot was pretty good. He ran up and around me. I always reload too. So as soon as I shot, I reloaded another arrow, and I'm watching him like this, hoping he stops, and I'll put another second insurance shot in him. And then he went up and over the hill. And that's the story, baby. Take a look at these pictures. You alright there, Skippy?
I'm good, Skippy boy.
So a little update. We got a lot done today. We ate at Chili's, took pictures, posts on Insta. As you know, if you're watching this episode, we got the buck. We should have filmed it, but we went and dropped him at a meat processing place. Normally I process meat myself, but being that I'm on this really long trip, I just don't have time to do it. So getting it processed, and then we went to a taxidermist in Flagstaff and dropped my deer off. Wasn't sure if I wanted to get him mounted or get a European mount and save the velvet. I knew I wanted to save the velvet, and when I heard the pricing, I just decided to go for the full mount. It was more money, but you know, I think it'll look cool. What do you think?
Yeah, you should probably stop being a tightwad.
A tightwad? I am a tightwad.
Maybe live a little.
Yeah, I'm a tightwad.
Enjoy a nice shoulder mount every once in a while, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, and it's actually one of those styles where it's like pops out of the wall, sort of. So I don't have any of those, so I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like.
That's what's cool.
And right now we are pinning it back. It's pretty late right now. It is 4:55. Normally we like to be glassing by 5.
I gotta get some stock in it.
That's right. So anyways, we're on our way, and we will be hitting the evening glass soon. And sorry about those gunshots. We are listening to the Joe Budden podcast right now, and we're having a good day, right? Oh, also, kind of funny. We'll reminisce a little. Just the other day, most of the time when I stalk these deer, it's when I watch them bed down, typically in the morning glass. And Coleman asked me the other day, he said, have you ever shot one spot and stalk in the evening? Because like I said, primarily the morning is when things go down. But I thought back, and I have in 2014, I shot that buck with the 5-inch brow tines in New Mexico in the evening. And then, ironically, we got that buck in the evening. So it's just kind of crazy how that happened.
2 days later, all of a sudden, James is going on a stalk at night. Putting in the sinker.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. But anyways, we're having fun. I'm going to charge a GoPro. See you guys in a bit. All right, guys. Nick is out on a stalk on two bucks. A couple of the ones we've seen a few times. There's only about an hour until dark, but they're not basically like right here. So I would guess they're only about 500 yards away, and they're both feeding. So like God's will happen, and you know, hopefully he can at least get close and have an exciting evening. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.